Well, this is part 4 in a series trying to illustrate how you can get more out of gCADPlus and its accompanying plant database application just using some of the features in gCADPlus. I'd like to focus here on how you might give information to your clients in terms of the species that you've used in the design. So one way to do that conveniently is to create a layout, and let's just have a look at the Layouts Manager. It's an A4 sheet in portrait view, so it can be printed on any standard printer attached to your computer. We search for images that we want to put into this page by switching to our companion plant database program, and that's SppDb. And let's imagine, as we have done here, that Acacia cognata is being used and the plant database stores the location, so I should be able to simply copy that and then go back into gCADPlus, go to Format and to Images and add a new image, and I'll simply paste it in here and then open it and insert it. And because there's a snap and grid setting here, which is different to what we've been showing earlier, snap and grid are both on, I should be able to locate the image and line it up neatly on the left by simply dragging like so. Now I'm a little bit out in this instance, but if I now pick the image and just move it up, there we have the image nicely located and lined up. Gives a crisper example, and we just copy the text and put Acacia cognata here. Notice here that the image for Banksia spinulosa doesn't line up nicely with the top of the images for Callicimum and the grafted standard Grevillea. gCADPlus has some nice tools that can help you. So modify, align an object, because images are objects. Pick the 3 objects and hit enter. Concentrate down here in the command area, that's where the messages from gCADPlus come to you. We want to align them at the top, which is the default. So we hit top, make the choice. Now the base point, we want them to line up with the one on the left, and so we click there and now it's done. Unselect all, so now all 3 images line up nicely. You can do the same with text, but you might find that Eremophila maculata has actually been put in using mText, so difficult. I think I wouldn't want to try that using mText, a mixture of different entity types. So we'll just take that, copy Eremophila maculata, we can delete it and then pick this one, copy that across, just saves us the trouble of retyping material, and then just paste there and OK. So now if those were not lined up nicely, they are, because we just used it with polar on, you could use that sort of tool as well. So I think when I look at it closely, I think the top of this one isn't quite lined up, but you can see how fussy you can get, and it's good to be fussy. But I digress. What we want to do is give our clients the ability to find out a lot more information about the species that we've used. Now we've mentioned that back here, and let's zoom extents, we have a plant schedule, so we can go to gCADPlus and we can actually export that data. You might extract schedules, extract the plant schedule. What we want to do is we'll put it on the desktop and I've rehearsed this one called I'm going to type plant list, and we'll call it plant list 2. So we're going to take the information that's in the drawing and we're going to write it to a file. Once we've done that, it's on the desktop. We swing to our plant database application, and one of the options here is to, well, I'll scroll back a little bit so you see what happens, is file and import a comma separated file. And on the desktop we should have 2, and the one we just did was plant list 2. And do I want to clear any tags that were in there before? We'll say yes. And now as I scroll through, notice how when we get to Acacia cognata, it's now tagged. So you could print now that particular record, which would give you all of this information that we've got here, including some comprehensive notes. Now the key issue here, and SppDb was developed for landscape design students in a local college just starting out on their career, and it was given to them so they would take their own pictures of species that they like and want to work with and fill in all the information about height, width, plant type and code and so on. So those codes that you saw in an earlier movie are also in here, and it's the botanical name and the code that locks these two together. So we could go now through the database and print single sheets in high resolution if we wanted. We could print that record to a high quality PDF, and if you've taken images yourself which are much higher than resolution than just 800 by 561, you'll be able to produce beautiful detailed information for your clients. So in a 2-year course we expected our students to develop really good plant database files that were their own and their own work, and there was no danger of them putting any information out that came from an image that shouldn't have been used in their work. And we would certainly mark them down if we found them taking images from the internet. But I digress. Let's go back to gCADPlus. So we can produce a lot of material for our client, but it's come from one design, one drawing file, and lots of information associated with it. There are many other tools in gCADPlus as well to extract ground cover information, different methods of labeling and so on. The eagle eyes among you would have noticed that I had inadvertently reversed these two. Just again pick and move things around and get the correct labeling. The reason they were reversed around is I tried to line them all up with a mixture of single line text and multiple line text, and that failed, as I mentioned. But I hope that's given you an overview of some of the tools that you can use with gCADPlus and its accompanying database, which we give away to anyone who purchases gCADPlus. So that completes this little mini series.